Hey, coach, how significant really is lifetime of grappling? Like Islam said, wrestling since you were a child versus picking up later, like JDM. That's from uh, Wanzi. Guys, I'll tell you, it's huge. If you're in a practice room from a young age, that's a high level practice room. It makes a whole difference. If you're in a low-level practice room, somebody can quickly catch up to you in the future. Islam's been around studs. He's seen guys that are like his heroes, wrestling studs you've never heard of. He's seen their training methods. He's seen how they prep. He's seen how they cut weight. Like I've hung out with Khabib. Khabib's like, I don't use any nutritionist and I don't want any strength and conditioning coaches in my gym. He does everything. The weight cut. Why? Because they have a tradition of it. The wrestlers do their own. They don't have a guy who's got a diploma from university, kinesiology. Now, I talk about this in my Strong and Stable Running. I talk about how tradition is important because they come from a tradition of wrestlers. They use that formula. And I also say, look, science is important. They're both important. In my Strong and Stable program, I talk about the Strong and Stable Back. I talk about it also. Because here's what you have to understand. Kinesiology, sports science, exercise science is very young. It's very young. It's like 60 years old. It's not old. There's not that much information. The samurai, the karate masters, the judo masters, the grapplers, the wrestlers, the pancrasian, they come from a 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. We've seen wrestling. You think the Egyptians weren't wrestling? Of course they were. They come from a 5,000-year-old tradition. They figured things out. Don't throw that out. What the Thais do, the Thais have, it's quite a tradition. It's a 100-year-old tradition, stadium fighting, almost. And of course they fought before that. But stadium fighting, like having thousands of fight a year, it's so heavily ingrained in their culture. They know a lot about fighting. It's refined. So don't take away everything they do and throw it out and say, hey, it's not scientifically proven. Yeah, it's not scientifically proven, but you have to understand, these are the ideas that survived. So, because you got to think about it. Thai fighters or wrestlers, they always copied the champions, right? So people tried different methods. The losers, nobody copied them. People copied the winners. And then winners tried different methods, different variations. They played around with the formula and they refined it. And people copied always the methods of the winner. That's the first thing we do. When we see somebody win, we're like, oh, what did he do? How does he train? We start researching. We start looking into what are the insights. So that kind of, these training methods kind of evolve and get passed down. I've worked with so many great coaches that showed me something that's not in the exercise science book. I've innovated things myself, things my trainers taught me that I kind of tweaked. And I'm teaching my next generation. So one generation helps develop the other, and they're learning these secrets. So it's so important that we don't throw away the tradition. There's so much to tradition. It's so important. There's a reason why these guys are teaching wrestling. They survived. They're the ones teaching because everybody wants to learn from the winners. So exercise science is still way behind. They have to catch up. Okay, so if you give me some guy who's training in a really hardcore gym that's like really well reputed and has produced a bunch of wrestlers, and then you have some guy training with some let me give you a for instance. Okay, Sean Brady. I was watching Sean Brady's preparation, and he had this exercise science guy making him lift weights at a certain speed with a rhythm, and he was overcomplicating the fitness part. Oh, the fitness, and he's measuring his wattage and this and that. It's so perfectly calibrated. The scientific method, exercise science through the nose is coming out of his ears. If I was in the practice room, I would have told him, look, we're going to minimize that. That's not what's going to win you the fight. He was doing it with elastics and he's pumping. Dude, Morales doesn't do any of that. Morales comes from a third world country. He doesn't know anything about exercise science. His two parents were two black belts judokas at a high level. They helped influence his training. He saw people training at a high level. He went in there and he won the fight. What happened to all that crazy science? If you put that science guy in the Khabib room, Khabib will kick him out. Khabib will be like, I don't want this guy in. I don't want to hear about this witchcraft. I don't want to hear about this lifting at a certain rate with the elastic tension. He doesn't want to hear. Now, me, I'm in the middle. I like to hear the science because I think science will help us understand the tradition and refine the tradition. I'm not at the extreme where I'm like, no, I don't want to hear the jargon. No, I want to hear the jargon and I'm going to analyze it. I'm going to test it. And if I feel that it has merit, I'll pass it on to my fighters. Guys, don't forget, though, I have a university degree. I'm trained in analytical thinking. I'm formally trained in logic. So I have to tell you, the guy's making a claim. How does he substantiate that claim? I'm very interested in this. Okay? So that's my piece with that.